Congressman Roger Williams, Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, Congressman Jake Ellzey, thank you so much. Welcome back to Eye on Politics, all of you. So you've been on this tour today, and I'm wondering, what does this mean as it relates to the president's, quote, big beautiful bill that you all voted for?
Well, let me just start out by saying it means a lot, and the fact of the matter is it shows how small business can be big business in America if regulations are left alone with them. But this situation we have with President Trump and being very business friendly, things like the tax cuts are what small business is waiting on. Regulations, we talked about that, small business is waiting on a reduction of regulations. And 100% expensing is a huge deal for businesses as we go across the country. So we are in the golden age, and we need to, and the Senate needs to pass the bill, the President will sign it, and Main Street will continue to go and grow.
You look at what the innovation is, and the American innovation is to be able to be unleashed. And I think the research and development that we're also supporting in this, one big beautiful bill is really going to be important to small companies like this. The 199A pass-through to make sure that their taxes are not doubled from 21% to 39%. These are things that really, when you talk to these people, are really important. We want to make sure, for national security specifically with this firm, that we keep having onshored in our country and in protecting not only our citizens but also our troops around the globe.
Congressman Ellzey.
Well, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act's tax cuts needs to be made permanent, but what you're seeing here is the Texas miracle writ large, and companies coming to Texas because we had a regulatory environment that was predictable, and now President Trump is trying to make that the same nationwide, and that's extremely important for onshoring and for national security, as this company that we're at today makes ammo for our American warfighters. So, and they're doing it on their own. So Tax Cut and Jobs Act, one big beautiful bill, they're all going hand in hand to make the business environment even better.
I've got to ask about, because obviously the U.S. Senate is getting this bill now. So they're going to have a month and changes are probably going to be made. How concerned are you about that? And we'll start with you, Congresswoman, right now.
How am I? Look, I think the bill that we were able to get out of the House, a lot of people said there was no way it was going to be able to get done. Not only did we do it, but we did it by our timeline, which is Memorial Day. We are hoping to be able to have the president sign this by July 4th. Look, the Senate is going to change some things. I'm hoping that that they look at the cost. And that they start looking at the cost savings that we could have from government spending. Look at the Inflation Reduction Act, which I kindly refer to as the Inflation Act, and take back the provisions of that were allowed to be extended. SALT is important to folks in New York and California, but to folks in Texas, we actually are having to hold the burden of that from New York. So I'm hoping that they cut back on the cap that was extended through the House. And I'm also looking at Medicaid reform and the waste, the fraud, and abuse that was allowed in Medicaid, and making sure that people who should not be on that program, who are here illegally, are not on it, and those folks who are able-bodied that need to get to work have an opportunity to get a job, and that we stop paying people to stay at home.
The process works itself out. It always has. Mike Johnson has been pulling rabbits out of the hat since he became Speaker. It's going to look different coming back from the Senate, but we have no alternative. This is, once it comes back, and whatever that looks like, this is the way to move the Trump agenda forward and the Republican agenda forward, and there is no alternative, so we're going to get it passed.
Well, the Senate's going to do what they do, and it's going to come back to us, I think, and we'll get it passed. But the main thing is, in my district, we want tax cuts. We promised tax cuts. We need to put more money in the hands of the people. When that happens, they spend, they don't save, they invest, they create jobs. 100% expensing is a huge deal to small businesses like the one that I have. And regulations, we get back to regulations again, choking the innovation of small business, and we've got to stop that. So they'll come with something. I'm sure it'll be a good bill. We sent them a good bill. We'll see what happens. But don't mess with those three things I just talked about. We have to have that on Main Street.
Congressman Roger Williams, Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, Congressman Jake Ellzey, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Good to see you, Jack.
Yeah.